प्रणाम महाराज।
हाँ नमस्ते नमस्ते।
Pranam Swamiji.
नमस्ते। Okay, we'll start. Where we are. Huh? Okay. Good. Brahmanand Valli. Say. The knower of Brahman attains the okay. Okay. So let's start with our prayer. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Shanno Mitra Samvarunah Shanno Bhavatvaryama Shanna Indro Brihaspatihi Shanno Vishnurukramaha Namo Brahmani Namaste Vayo Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahmasi Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahma Vadishyami Ritam Vadishyami Satyam Vadishyami Tanmamavatu Tadvaktaramavatu Avatu Mam Avatu Bhaktaram Avatu Bhaktaram. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om. So first thing is why we are studying this. The first thing is we are in a situation that we suffer. Wherever one is there, one suffers. And we want to get rid of it. How to get rid of it? That is the question. And what is the answer? If we get something which is unlimited, which is knowledge himself or itself. So unlimited means then we have achieved that, and beyond nothing is there. And who is knowledge himself or itself, that means We have known something, there is nothing beyond it. Then it is done. Then we will not have any misery. Now, how to have that? That is the question. The answer is, if we can know Him, who is all powerful, all knowledge, and who is limitless, then we are free. Then we will suffer no misery. The problem is, for that we need to do something. So, first let us read the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna to make it a bit dilute. Otherwise, it is too much of brain work. So, M asks, about once he remained silent a moment, after a few minutes, M asked the Master, what does one feel while thinking of God without form? Doesn't it possible to describe it? After some reflection, so how to achieve God? The purpose is to get rid of all our suffering. We have lots of suffering, like kayik, vachik, manasik, and then adhi-daivik, adhi-bhautik, adhyatmik. Adhi-daivik, adhi-bhautik means the suffering that we receive from the vagaries of nature, from our mental condition. Even nobody has said something, but still we feel not up to the mark. And then sometimes the vagaries of nature, sometimes because of imbalance in the nature and even within oneself. Adi bhautik, adi daivik, and adhyatmik. So all this suffering we suffer. So what happens? Is not it possible to describe it? After some reflection, the Master said, do you know what it is like? He remained silent a moment and then said a few words to him about one's experience at the time of the vision of God, with and without form. Now, what he said, that he has not written. But what he has said and written, Master, you see, one must practice a spiritual discipline to understand this correctly. So what is the spiritual discipline? Whatever we are doing, we have mantra, we should do japa, we lead a proper, righteous life. So you see, one must practice a spiritual discipline to understand this correctly. Suppose there are treasures in a room. If you want to see them and lay hold of them, you must take the trouble to get the key and unlock the door. After that, you must take the treasures out. But suppose the room is locked, and standing outside the door, you say to yourself, outside the door, and you say to yourself, here I have opened the door, now I have broken the lock of the chest, now I have taken out the treasure. Such brooding near the door will not enable you to achieve anything. So, you must practice discipline. See, that means to concentrate mind and also study. Study is this is also important, because here what happens? Lots of our cobwebs, misunderstanding or confused thinking goes away. So this is, though it looks like, oh my God, my head is breaking. But not to worry. And our teachers are there to take you gradually. But this is also a practice. So that is what I am saying. The jnanis think of God without form. Hmm? So, okay, without form, let us imagine. Like, first we must have a courage. Let us see what they think. If we say, oh, I cannot do it, in mathematics, everybody is afraid of mathematics. Oh my God, the 2 plus 2, how much 2? So the calculator, 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. Okay. The Jnanis think of God without form. They don't accept the divine incarnation. Praising Sri Krishna, Arjuna said, Thou art Brahman absolute. Sri Krishna replied, Follow me, and you will know whether or not I am Brahman absolute. So saying, Sri Krishna led Arjuna to certain place and asked him what he saw there. I see a huge tree, said Arjuna, and on it I notice fruits hanging like clusters of blackberries. Then Sri Krishna said to Arjuna, Come nearer and you will find that these are not clusters of blackberries but clusters of innumerable Sri Krishna like me hanging from the tree. In other words, divine incarnations without number appear and disappear on the tree of the absolute Brahman. Okay, so just a little of gospel that will help. The thing is, God is infinite, Ananta. We are, as of now, looks like we are finite. But Upanishad is this, that it empowers you. Whatever infinite that we are thinking of God, that means we are small. No. We have that already within us. We are also infinite. Only thing, we pretend that we are not infinite. And even scripture says so, but somehow we don't believe it. We think, high philosophy, let them say, but I know I am a small being. So, this attitude is to be abandoned. And one should be courageous to face, okay, let us see what is there. So don't worry about it, okay? So, Om. So first is Om. And you know all the meaning of Om. That Om encompasses the whole universe, whole truth. Om iti iteksharam, iti ekaksharam Brahma. Om himself is Brahman, itself is Brahman. Why? Because it encompasses everything, it represents everything. Om iti Brahma. Om. Brahmavit apnoti param. The knower of Brahman knows the supreme. Apnoti means attains. And previously, it is said where to concentrate, where to meditate. Now, tadesha bhikta satyam jnanam anantam brahma. First it is Satya. What is Satya? So we'll go a little, we'll try to understand what is Satya. Satya, that means whatever remains in all the time without any change. Everything in this nature, you will see everything is changing. So that which never changes is Satya, truth. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. Now, Satya. What is Satya? Satta. Another word is Satta. Sat means existence. Sat. How we know existence? I give this example, and this is a stock example. Everybody does this. that if I say you don't exist, then you'll say, sorry Swamiji, I know I exist. I don't need any advice regarding this. So this existence, though we experience, but still many times we think I am not there. When I am sleeping in deep sleep, then sometimes we think that we are not there. But then we remember our experience. So that time also we exist. So this existence, that is also satta, existence. Now satta, if we see what kind of truth we find. So one is satta, is called vyavaharik satta. Satta. This satya, satta means existence. Satya, what that the subject is. Truth, satya. That which exists is satya. Now, how many types of satta we experience? One is called vyavaharik satta. Like we are interacting. When we are interacting, we cannot deny it. So this is transactional, or it is empirical. Why it is empirical? Because if we explore, actually we don't exist. It is all in our, everything happens in our brain. All our perceptions happen in our brain. That is why it is empirical. But it's vyavaharik, we cannot deny it. Now I am hungry, so I must eat. Otherwise I'll suffer. So there is something very closely knit, but it has vyavaharik, it means transactional. Now it is there, now it is not there. See, 1 hour ago you were not here, and after 1 hour will not be here. So this changing. Now truth, what is truth? That which never changes. Trikala abadita. In 3 time there is no change. There should not be any change. That is satya. So whatever changes, that is not truth. So what is changing? Am I disappearing? No. This combination is disappearing. So one is called vyavaharik satta. One is called pratibhasika satta. Pratibhasik, what is pratibhasik? Pratibhasik means it appears. Say, when you are driving, you can see water at distance. But when you go closer, there is no water. So that's called pratibhasik. That means the projected and also imagined, or say another, when you are dreaming, in dream also we experience, and when you are dreaming, the person who is dreaming, that means dreamer, cannot doubt on himself, but when he comes out of it, then he knows that it does not exist. So whatever gives a notional say existence, but ultimately when you compare with the waking state, then you find that it does not exist, but it appears. So appearance. So this is called pratibhasika. Pratibhas, that means it is projected. Pratibhasika satta. It has, give a notion. Another kind of satta is, like if I say that horse, no, that what is that called? Bunny. Hare. Horn of a hare. So it gives some notion that yes, something is there. But when you think, then you think that there is nothing like that. Kha pushpa means in the space there is a flower. It looks like flower, but it's not flower. Okay, blue sky. It looks like, yeah, it is there. You don't see? But actually it has no color. Or we can say, people see it is black because everything is absorbed. No color. Color means whatever reflects. And when a particular wavelength is reflected, then it looks like that color, like red. All other wavelength are absorbed. Only red, that represents red, that is reflected. So when you see a red rose and you say, oh, red rose, but actually it is whatever is reflected. But what is the real color? You don't know. Nobody knows. But we have that notion, yes, there is something. So this is called the Shashavishan, or we can say son of a barren woman. So it gives a son of a barren woman. But actually, nobody exists like that. But it gives a notional existence. So one is called mithya. Mithya means not real. And then another is called pratibhashika. That means whatever is projected. And vyavaharik means whatever is transactional. See, as of now, I cannot deny you, neither you can deny me. But after 1 hour, nobody is there. So that's called transactional. And then one is called paramarthik satta. Paramarthik satta means that never cease to exist. And truth never cease to exist. Nasato vidyate bhava. Asat never cease and never exists. Whatever is asat, it may appear. It may appear blue sky, but it is not there. Because of our wrong perception we see. But in reality it is not there. And even this, like to ascertain that it is not there, that also you cannot say. That means I must have absolute knowledge. Then only we can compare. So, what we are comparing as of now, we are in vyavaharik satta and vyavaharik existence. From this standpoint, we say, oh, this is our dream is pratibhasika. And a mirage is, alika satta, that means it does not exist. So, from this standpoint, but paramarthik satta is satta all the time. So, this satya, satyam, jnanam, anantam, brahma. So, 3 adjectives are given. Satya means truth. Now, anything when we say like somebody is a tall person, or somebody is dark person, or say black cow, or white horse. So what we are, when there are something, a category, to distinguish in that category, we give some adjective. A word and its adjective. Horse, what kind of horse? White horse. So, the subject or the noun, horse is noun, and adjective is white or black or whatever color. So when we bring together, then we make a sense. Why? To segregate from others. Now think of another thing. If I say golden necklace, so what is happening there? necklace and gold. And then I say golden ring. Or if I say wooden chair. So chair is noun and wooden is the quality, like adjective. Are they two different? In the case of horse and black horse, it was different. So horse was noun, adjective was black or white, or tall or blue or whatever. But in the case of golden something, the say necklace is gold. So noun necklace and golden, that the adjective is the same. Only it has various shapes, name and form. So now, whatever adjective that we give to anything, so it particularly it says something, to distinguish from others. So here three words are there: Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam. Brahma. So Brahma is noun. So Brahma should be with qualities, adjective. What type of adjective? Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam. So is it like that? No, it is not like that. It's like you can say whatever is Brahman, he is truth himself, Satta, Paramarthika Satta, the supreme truth. And who is a Brahman? That he is himself Jnanam, knowledge. Knowledge himself. So here it is not different. As we have discussed, it's not like black horse or white horse. Noun and adjective. Adjective is qualifying noun, but here the adjective, it's not adjective, it is, though it is enhancing or it is showing various aspects, but it is the same thing. Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam Brahma. So whatever, so Vishesha, that means like in Sanskrit it's called Vishesha. Anyway, so another thing is Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Brahma. It is Samanadhikaran. All are pointing to the same thing. In Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan says, what is Brahman? Aksharam Brahma Paramam. Aksharam, that never ksharati, never deteriorates. That means it's all the time the same. Satyam. Satyam, Jnanam, the same thing. So here also. Now these are not qualities. Whatever qualities, what happens? If somebody is lean, tomorrow he can become a heavy person. I cannot say fat. Heavy person. So the quality changes. Now blue sky, now it can become crimson. Or changes happen. So adjective can differ, but here it is not right like adjective. It is denoting the same truth in different ways. So Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam. So it is Samanadhikarana. It's called in the same Adhikarana. By three, of course, this is also a kind of, it is enhancing or qualifying, a kind of qualification, but it is not like adjective. It is showing different aspects so that it complements. So here now comes Now, see, like there are so many other things, but let us cut short. All these three are denoting the same truth: Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Brahma. So, let us read a little so that we go forward. Om, the knower of Brahman attains the supreme. So, knower of Brahman, that means Brahmavit Brahmaiva Bhavati. So, here what happens? So, suppose somebody somebody masters, say, veterinary science, veterinary. So, does he become like animal? No. So, so if I know chemistry, will I become like all agents? No. So, this is a different kind of knowledge. Brahmavit Brahmaiva Bhavati. The knower of Brahman becomes Brahman. He attains Brahman. That means all the ignorance is removed. As of now, because of ignorance, not knowing things correctly, we are confused. We think that we are bodies, we are minds, and this complex are so engrossed that we cannot come out of it. But by pursuing this knowledge, Atma Jnana, Brahma Jnana, one can go beyond. So, the knower of Brahman attains the supreme. The supreme, that means, that supreme means Param. Now, in reference to that, the following is said: the real, the conscious, the infinite is Brahman. Real means Sat, Satyam, Jnanam, consciousness or awareness. The infinite is Anantam. Then there is no end. He who, there is no end means he has no beginning also. He who knows that supreme Akshara, Akshara means an Akasha, existing hidden in the heart, realizes all his desires along with the omniscient. So, hidden in the Akasha as existing hidden in the heart. So, this is the one thing is very assuring, that it is not beyond us. It is within us. Only we need to discover. Only we need to identify. If we can identify, then we are free. Then Brahmavit Brahmaiva Bhavati. The knower of Brahman becomes Brahman. So, existing hidden in the heart realizes all his desires along with the omniscient. Then will he get a Tesla car? So at least assurance is there. You can try. Then you can get one. So from this Atman has sprung ether. Now comes why he will get everything. Because whatever is created, it springs from here. And every day you create. It's not that somebody created from the above and let there be light and light existed. It is you who creates every day, everything that you create. So from this Atman, sprung ether, and ether, from ether, air, from air, fire, from fire, water, from water, earth, from earth, vegetables and cereals, from vegetables, food, from food, man. Thus man is constituted of the essence of food. This verily is his head. This is the right wing. This is the left wing. This is the trunk. And this is the tail and support. About this also there is the following verse. Now, how it is created from this same self? See, in the morning what happens? First, when you come out of your, say, deep sleep, gradually, first it is not distinguished. It is all mixed up. Then gradually, when you open up, then everything is distinguished. Everything is, separate, becomes separate. And then you can see this whole world, this whole creation. So, from this self sprung ether, akasha, akashat vayu, vayuragni, agnirapah, apah, ओषधय अद्भ्या पृथिवी पृथिव्या ओषधय ओषधिभ्यो अयम अन्नम ओषधिभ्यो अन्यम अन्नात् पुरुषः सवा एषा पुरुषो अन्नमय रसा. And from this has sprung the Purusha means that supreme being. Sava esha. Purusha here, human being also we can say. Okay, so let us go forward, then it will be clearer. Mushkil is. Oh. It jumps. Okay. This verily is his head. Now, let us go. Here? Yeah. The Shruti asserts here the same fact spoken of in other Shrutis, that the knower of Brahman becomes Brahman. Brahman is essentially the pure intelligence or principle of consciousness which constitutes our very soul. So it cannot be an object of knowledge in the ordinary sense. It is knower. The Vijñātaram are kena vijaniyat. Who can know the knower? Knowing means what? Say, if I know, say I know this book. So this book means this is object. Who is knowing? The subject. Now, when you want to know, that means you have to make something object. When you are trying to discover yourself, what is happening? You are trying to make yourself object. Now, who is seeing? The seer cannot be seen. Seer cannot be seen. That is why when meditation is taught, how to meditate, the hint is given. It is to think that your Ishta is sitting facing as you are facing. So it is to see like a mirror. When you see in a mirror, you see your image. But you shave here. That means what? Seeing the seer, you have to make him object. But there is another way to see. That means how to negate things. And we do. When we see a mirror, we shave here. That means we don't see there. This is a different kind of seeing if you can perceive this. So that is why the technique is to meditate as the Ishta is facing as you are facing. So Brahman is essentially the pure intelligence or principle of consciousness which constitutes our very soul. so it cannot be an object of knowledge in the ordinary sense of the item. It cannot be both the subject and object. So whenever you are trying to see, what happens? Who is the seer? I am seeing you. If I want to see myself, then the seer is other than the seen. So that is why Vigyataram Are Kene Vijaniyat. So it cannot be both the subject and object of knowledge at the same time. Hence, to know Brahman really means to realize or better attain to that state of absolute intelligence or consciousness which is beyond time, space and causation. Now beyond time, space and causation we cannot think. So what we can say in Upanishad, just like neti neti. Whatever we see, no, that, not that. You know what happens when we see ourselves in mirror, we say it is not me. It is not me. Then we try to deduct, okay, it is here. Where is this image coming from? Where is this image coming from? So we know it is here. So that means seeing the object, you are to find out who is the seer. Again, it is not in the sense that it is to make object. Okay. Absolute intelligence or consciousness. Such a transcendent state of consciousness is realized only in the highest samadhi, known as asampragnata or nirvikalpa samadhi. And once that state is realized, say Sri Ramakrishna, when he is in samadhi, he is not outer awareness. And Swamiji also, you can see. And this is possible because the seed is here. It is implanted already. Only we need to put our effort. Why we have to need to put our effort? Because we don't want to suffer. Either we have to suffer or we have to do this. Choice is ours. As simple as that. It becomes a permanent factor of consciousness, the phenomenal relative world, losing all its vital reality in reference to life. Therefore, one who has known or realized the absolute consciousness or Brahman by exalting his own consciousness to that state has become one with Brahman to all intents. To all intents and purposes. It should be always borne in mind that the true knowledge or realization of Brahman is not an intellectual affair, but a state of pure consciousness. Now, what is being said, it can be done by practicing. As Sri Ramakrishna said, if I am thinking there is a treasure inside and I am now opening the gate, now I am breaking the lock, I am getting the things, not thinking will not do. This is to practice how to see that seer. So this practice is to be done or to make. It should be always borne in mind that the true knowledge or realization of Brahman is not an intellectual affair. It may look like what we are talking about is intellectual. No, it is practice oriented. But a state of pure consciousness. We are trying to find out the teaching that has been imparted by Upanishad. The real Brahman, here the Shruti defines Brahman first as the substantive reality, the Satyam. substantive reality, the basis of all real and all phenomenal, whatever seems to exist, what is that substratum on which everything exists? Okay, what is that? Say we are seeing all, right? How we are seeing? People will say through our eyes. Okay? Suppose I am unconscious. Can I see this world? And the observer factor is very important. Who is this observer? In its presence, everything seemingly works, like that, animates. Everything animates when there is an observer. So it is like this. See, so many things are happening here. It's because of light. Switch off light, and then we cannot see each other. But as soon as, or as we have light, in its presence things happen. Similarly, when we have the light of self, everything animates, everything happens. Good, bad, indifferent, whatever it is. But everything happens in presence of the self. That is satta, reality. The substantive reality. This is the basis of everything. Whatever exists because of the self. That is satta, the basis of all real and all phenomenal existences. Next, lest it might be taken for an inert substance or matter or the materialist, it adds that Brahman is not only being a reality but also essentially of the nature of consciousness. So it is, one can doubt what kind of existence it is. So here Upanishad is saying Satyam Jnanam. It's not only existence, it's knowledge itself. Phenomenal existence. Next, lest it might be taken for an inert subject. Like something is existing, it is inert. No, it is not inert. That is why, to remove that idea, what Upanishad says, it might be materialist. It adds that Brahman is not only being or reality, but also essentially of the nature of intelligence or consciousness or knowledge. So to remove that idea, one may think that existence is material-like or inert. No. This existence is consciousness. So you exist. Who you are a conscious being. You realize that I am existing. Should I go and certify, you exist? No, it is self-certified. You yourself know that I exist. If I ask, how you know that you exist? Swamiji, I experience. Simple. So this existence is conscious. It is not matter, not inert. And because it is conscious, in its consciousness, everything is conscious. Tasya bhasa sarvamidam vibhati. Say, light is burning. Can you quickly, Tari, switch off these lights? Then you can see. All three. Experiment. Tasya bhasa sarvamidam. Now switch on. See, like still we can see because there are so many lights are there, right? But you can imagine, when this light of self shines, then only everything shines. Tasya bhasa sarvamidam vibhati. Okay? So, in other words, Brahman is the transcendental intelligence. Means it is not obliterated by anything. See this switch, when the flow of electricity was caused, then it switched off. That means we did not see any, that light. But this cannot be stopped. It is consciousness all the time, for eternity. Then again, lest it might be confounded with limited individual soul. Oh no, you are little individual, you are another individual, individual consciousness, individual existence. No, it is anantam. So to remove that idea also, it is anantam. It is not only being or reality, but also essentially of the nature of intelligence or consciousness or knowledge. Then again, lest it might be confounded with limited individual soul, the Shruti declares that Brahman is endless, that is infinite. Endless means beginningless also. Again, when we have idea of time, then we limit in time. Yesterday, today, tomorrow. So we limit something in time. We also limit something in space also. Like this house, this wall is separating outside space. So it is, we divide in space also. But it is unlimited in all spheres. Say time, space and causation. There is no cause that can obliterate it. It is beyond all causations. So this is infinite, means all in its aspect of the nature of intelligence. Okay, it might be confounded with limited individual soul. The Shruti declares that Brahman is endless, that means infinite. So in other words, Brahman is the transcendental intelligence which is beyond the limitations of time, space and causation. I have explained that. And yet not an abstraction of thought. So this is not something I am talking somewhere, there is a tree, on that tree Satyam Jnanam Ananta is sitting and its long tail is hanging from there. Not like that. It is within us, palpable. We all the time feel it. Feel means not, we are existing on it. We are existing on it. So, in other words, Brahman is the transcendental intelligence which is beyond the limitations of time, space and causation, and yet not an abstraction of thought, but a substantive reality, and which forms the common basis or background of all that appear as existing or real. Whatever appears, it appears on this. Even this body-mind consciousness, even this awareness outside, and this big, huge universe, everything that we perceive because of this. So whatever we feel real, it is because of this Sat, Chit and Ananda Swarupa. Satta, that is whatever is truth, all time it is there. It is also hinted here that Brahman is both efficient and material cause of the universe. What is efficient and material cause? That means, see, as I said, gold ring or golden necklace. So one thing is material cause. What is the material? Material is the gold. But who has made that necklace? Oh, goldsmith. So intelligent cause is different from that. But here the same entity, both material and intelligent cause. It's not different. Okay. Supreme Akasha. Brahman is called Akasha or empty space in several places. So this is, Shruti says variously. Ekam sat vipraha bahudha vadanti. The truth is one, but it is mentioned variously. It is declared or it is said in different ways. So sometimes it's Akash also. Brahman is called Akasha or empty space in several places. Because how to tell to ordinary people? Teacher has a problem. He wants to tell, he wants to give everything to us. But we are, like small kids. We don't understand. So he tries to, Upanishad is like mother. Mother tries to make us understand in various ways. So, sometimes it says Akash, say Atman. Sometimes Atman is that supreme self, that the reality. Okay, and sometimes this even it denotes body also. Say Atmaja. Atmaja means son. Who is Atmaja? Who has born from this body, or from one body to another body. So Atmaja means self, the born of self. But self cannot procreate. So this body gave that. So anyway, this way Atman is taken in different connotations. Atman has got different connotations. Similarly, Akasha also. Brahman is called Akasha or empty space in several places of the Vedas, or for three reasons. First, for its transcendental subtlety. Akasha, see here. Without Akasha we cannot exist. So transcendent subtlety, like ether or space. Secondly, for its negation. So it negates all other things. And that is emptiness. So here nothing, you cannot paint here. Even we can see various crimson color when there is sunset. But that's only temporary. We know it is not there. So it negates. That is emptiness of all relative qualities. And thirdly, because like space, it is infinite and in it is conceived all that exists. So self or Brahman, in Brahman everything existing. So this, because of this we can extend our imagination. That is why Akasha is taken, the word sometimes as Brahman. Who knows heart? So here the Shruti plainly indicates that Brahman should not be so as an objective. What is this? Oh, sought. Yeah. Not to be sought as an objective or an objective reality. Here the Shruti plainly indicates that Brahman should not be sought as an objective reality. It's like, it's not objective, it is subjective, eternal subject. So this is the beauty of Upanishads, that though it says something, like those are words, but actually it transcends the meaning of the words. It indicates something which indicate that which is the basis of everything. So transcendent subtlety, no, sorry, the should not be sought as an objective reality, but that it is to be realized in one's own self. In one's own self. It is called hidden because to ordinary mind this principle of consciousness appears as indistinguishably mixed up with the modifications of the mind. Why it is hidden in the cave of our heart? Because we see what happens. Cave means what? We see some structure and something is hidden inside. So we want to see inside what is there. So when we want to say explore, what happens? We see this body, this mind, the intellect. So these are the coverings. That is why he is hidden there. So we see covering and there must be something. Sadeva Somya idamagra asit. There must be something which is hiding. That is why it is called hidden. It is called hidden because to ordinary mind this principle of consciousness appears as indistinguishably mixed up with the modifications of, like mind modification. Mind, we have various vrittis. And in that we have to find out. So we need to apply our viveka, discrimination. When you go for shopping, whatever you want to buy, it is hidden there. But there are so many things you have to distinguish. Oh, not this, not this, not this, not this. And then you pinpoint. Oh, this I want to buy. So here also you are buying. Okay. The modification of, so mental modification, that means, say, I hate someone, I love someone, then I have this emotion, sometimes I am emotional, sometimes I am laughing. So what? We are carried away by all these emotions and mental modifications. But within that he is lying. And because of his presence, all our emotions are also performing. So we have to find out by discrimination that what is that reality because of which everything is functioning. The countless the contentless consciousness, very good. And consciousness means like we are aware, right? But it has so many things, like this hall, then you all, and this light, and this computer, this books, and this body. So remove all the content. What remains? Okay, in our deep sleep, we experience a little of that. Because that time this whole world disappears. Even dream world disappears. No thought. That time we can have an inkling. Oh, this is my reality. But actually that's also not, because that is in the state of ignorance. Everything is merged in ignorance. But who is witnessing ignorance? That we have to find out. So contentless consciousness of our own being or self, free from all superstitions of the body and the mind, is Brahman. That is Brahman. This principle of pure consciousness constitutes the very center of our being. The very center of our being. That's why when you meditate at the very center of your being. On this, everything is existing. Very center of our being, which emanates the various aspects of our personality as radii. Say sometimes I'm angry, I'm sometimes happy, and this and that, and oh, he's a very good person. So all the the personal traits also coming because of this. The countless, sorry, this we have done. So, in reference to the individual being, this pure consciousness is called Pratyagatman. Pratyak means, see, Parak is outside, Pratyak means whatever is within, means the center, means on which everything is shining, everything is floating on this. So, individual. So, in reference to the individual being, the pure consciousness is called Pratyagatman, the inner soul, and Shakshin. Shakshi means witness. So, witness also is a bit away from it. Say, when you are saying, I am witnessing this, that means I am involved in it. That means there also, it's not contentless. What is the content here? Witnessing. I have a content of witnessing things. But think of that, there is no witness also. So that's the substratum on which even the witness is there. So here, let us have this. Otherwise, we cannot talk. The inner soul of Shakshi, or the witness whose perfection, whose reflection in the primal nescience, avidya, makes the jiva. So what is jiva? When avidya, I am wearing my avidya, ignorance. When I am wearing my ignorance, then I am a jiva. Okay. And again, in reference to the universe, it is called Brahman or Paramatman. So Supreme Being, like you can think of the collective. But actually there are no two. Something is individual self, individual self, individual self, and gather all, then it's Supreme Being. Actually, Supreme Being, Paramatman and Atman are same. There are no two. So when it is taken from the aspect of universal or universal aspect, then we call it Paramatman. But actually it is the same. Or the passing and the passage. What is the time? Oh, time is up. We will take up this one. Or the passage can be translated also as follows. He who knows that Brahman as existing in the glorious cavity of the heart. What's that? Yeah? Bacha Brahman Vikaramba Namadhyam Mrittikati Vaskriti Vastyam Yatra Nanya Vijanati Sabhuma Yatha Atha Yatra Anyad Vijanati Tadalpam Tat Satyam San okay, this realize all Brahman being all, and enjoys so that I speak of all objects and desires, and so the knower of Brahman by becoming Brahman does also the same. No, that's a different one. Or the passage can be translated into as follows: He who knows that Brahman as existing in the glorious cavity of heart. Like that origin. Okay, we'll take up next time. that I have to find out that what is the quotation. Anyway, okay, we'll stop here. So anyway, the assurance is that truth is within us. We have to find out if we want to um, find the permanent uh, the, say joy, ananda, satyam, jnanam, anantam, brahma. That means what? If we want to find a permanent solution of this suffering, then we must realize it. And this is cultivation of knowledge. This also helps a lot. Rather, this is an independent path to discover this truth. And it is that the advantage is this is here and now. It's not that it will happen later. Post dated check. You can encash later. No. Here it is now and here. So, with this, we'll conclude, and next time we'll take up from here. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tatsat. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Jai Sri Guru Maharaj Ji Ki Jai. Thank you.
Pranam Maharaj.
Namaste.
Pranam Maharaj.
Namaste. Hari Om. So Akshay, anything?
No.
No. Yet. Okay.
Earlier in this, there was a mention of
Hmm?
Brahman not having qualities, and because it has everything within it, right?
Hmm.
Is-
Contentless.
Yeah, is that to say? 'Cause it seemed like you were almost saying something that would like finish that thought.
Okay, we'll talk about it. Okay, thank you. Jai Ma. Jai Ma.
Jai.